Hi, Daddy. What you doing?
You doing the regatta shuffle right now? Hey. Oh, a little scullin'. And scoopin'. Some conch style and thing. Well, let's go. Skull with your left foot.
What's good, everyone? It's your boy Dyson Knight. Welcome to the SUP'M Show. It's episode 154. It would seem that we are in a loop. Man asks God for woman. Woman asks man for adventure. Man chooses to follow woman, but woman actually expects man to lead. So man takes the lead, but takes it a little too far, causing women to fight for liberation. Man loses fight, and woman becomes boss. As boss, woman tells man to protect. Man says, nah, you fought to be boss of self. Manage your own safety. Woman is now asking for real men. What is a real man? The kind of man that asks God for woman. I start the cycle all over again. I acknowledge that I'm a man and my perception may not be acceptable to women. And whatever other, anyway, I'll leave that alone. But this thought process holds some clues as to why my girlfriend would look me in the face, right in my eyes, and ask me if I think men and women are meant to get along. It's something to talk about, so let's see if we can go from talk to transformation on this week's episode. Are men and women meant to get along? Let's bring on my only faithful co-host. Ans, what's happening? My lady.
Hey, bro. Hey. Happy
You see
Sunday.
this? Happy Sunday indeed. So
Yeah.
I'm smiling. I'm thankful for life.
Yeah. But feeling all the feels.
But y'all, before we jump into the topic, let me tell y'all that it has been a roller coaster this past weekend. Getting back from being stuck in Detroit, coming out of Milwaukee, trying to get home, tired, exhausted from doing an incredible show
Amazing.
with some incredible musicians. Bahamian, let me tell y'all something about Bahamian, they don't play.
No.
They is jam. To get back to Halifax, accept a booking to host an independence celebration with bands, to see my group chat go wild and crazy with some news and information, dreaded information about a plane crash. All of us just come off a plane, traveling hours and hours to and from Milwaukee. This plane crash happened. It's probably a 15-minute between Nassau and
15
Andres.
minutes.
Nassau and Andres is 15 minutes in the plane crash. And everybody on board was a musician. Members of the Pawn Band.
Mm-hmm.
One of the members of the Pawn Band is also a member of the Bahamian. Is also the youngest member of the Bahamian. And he was on that flight. And beyond avoiding talking about it in the group chat, I guess you got to get it out of the way now.
Yeah.
Ans was also there in Milwaukee with our family. Y'all know the drummer of the Bomb and K-Mac is the husband of this beautiful woman, and him and Mateo Winder is his name. Him and Mateo were the closest pair in the band. Um, Always ragging each other, always cracking jokes,
Yeah.
holding each other hostage, right?
Yeah.
But we lost a member, and this is the second member that we have lost since I've been in the band. Um, and honestly, for me, I guess because I've been avoiding it and talking about it now brings up the emotions a bit more.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, it does.
but we love Mateo.
Yeah.
Um, we're definitely gonna miss Mateo. We're never gonna forget Mateo.
It's crazy.
And and my heart goes out to people that were even closer to him than
I'm
us.
saying yes. Because with
Yeah.
me, I had encounters, because of the group and everything. And I just, my husband called me when I was at work and said it. And I'm like, hmm?
Me too. What?
It didn't
No.
even register. And I'm like, who Teo? Because in my
Exactly.
mind, not
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 us.
our Teo, you know? And then I was like, you sure? Like, is like you sure this like real? Like, you know what I mean? You sure that's them or it was just all this disbelief and shock. And I'm listen to me. My drive home is an hour long. That was the longest hour drive of just playing last week in my brain. And like, I mean, wait, I was just recording everybody eating Kringle and, you know, even like I could see him right now when y'all all came in the lobby and he reached out a hand to do it. But I'm like, you better give me a hug. We is family, like so just playing all these different scenarios. I'm like, wait, when we go Nassau, I supposed to get the sugar apple off the tree because he said the sugar apple too sweet and he don't like the sweet and
And
all
this
these
sugar apple
different
tree heavy down.
right? He said that is
Uh-huh.
bare all year round, so it's like all these memories. And I don't man. And it's crazy because it's like you process and you're just like, okay, that that's one thing that nobody can avoid at some point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when it's something so tragic and random as this and a situation that be should be so safe,
Yeah.
like air flight should be is literally it's the safest mode of travel.
Yeah.
So it just makes you wonder so many things. Then you start hearing all these other things that happen with the same airline, and it's just like, so how this was allowed? Was this just negligence on their part and like all these different things? And it's like, wow, how y'all could just play with people's life like this. It's been it's honestly, it's been a weekend of taking social media in doses, trying to be distracted, um, trying to be present, for my husband, who I know, um, it's really taken a heavy toll on, just being present when I could be present, and when he got to step away and just hit on the drums, and it's like just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. It isn't easy.
Yeah.
And what I do is I busy myself. That's
Yep.
the first thing I did was I went for a walk.
Yeah.
And walks always help me, especially when I in arguments with my girlfriend. So let me just segue straight over
Yes.
to this
to,
topic,
to another distraction, please.
to a distraction. Segue right on. I remember one night I walk. Let me tell you something. How much steps you've ever done in a day?
The most I've ever done in a day, 13,000.
This one night
Uh-huh.
I walked straight through the night like a madman. I didn't probably I did like 25,000 steps. Y'all is
Dyson.
infuriate. Dealing with women sometimes is infuriating. But
My,
I honestly believe that it's because we communicate and understand each other differently. I could say blue and you would see red, or you would say, why not red? Totally
so I
disregarding the fact that I said blue. It's the communication and the expectations are lost in some dimension that exists in the space between when it leaves my mouth or when it leaves her mouth and when it reaches my ears or when it reaches her ears.
so Dyson. So what's wrong with wanting to know why red?
Because it's blue. Like
So
there's
okay, so if it's
there's
blue,
nothing
then
else to,
what's wrong with wanting to know? Well, why you choose blue? What's wrong with that?
but see, let's dig into this,
I
right?
literally want to know what's wrong. But here's what I think.
Here's Go
I
ahead.
think the frustration that some men feel with their partners comes from them expecting to get a male reaction from a woman. I feel like their expectation is what causes them disappointment.
Okay, I will be open-minded and accept what you're saying. Let me see if I can repeat it.
Okay.
You're saying that because what is delivered to me in a given situation is not what I expect, then I
Mhm.
am the one that ends up having a difficulty in that situation. I'm emotionally stirred. I'm put off balance because what is happening in the situation is not what is expected. Therefore, I think it's nonsensical. Therefore, I don't want to take part. Therefore, I don't want to understand. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, at times though.
At times.
At
Okay, so
times, and
here's
I say at times because I know that some people, some women can be irrational.
I was just about to ask you. You think your feelings make sense?
What do you mean?
I mean, I see exactly what I say. See, there's a problem.
Okay, let me explain what I say when I say what I mean.
Mhm.
When you say, if do I think my feelings make sense? Two things
Yes.
came to mind. Do you mean my feelings in general, or do you mean my feelings in relation to what we're talking about?
I mean, your feelings in general. I mean, do you think your feelings make sense? I understand it's a difficult question.
It is because, and here's why I say it is. Some feelings are valid, other feelings are simply a response.
What makes feelings valid?
Nah, that's
Here's why I
that's
think.
I gotta try. I trying to think of how to explain it.
Here's why I understand people's feelings, but I do not think, for the most part, feelings are valid if you want someone to pacify, lotion, um, give you a hug, um, help you reclaim your center, right? Your center, help you to feel safe, right?
Right.
And I
And
and
that's
but
one
I
of the basics of, the, oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? The self-actualization, like hierarchy of
okay,
needs. Safety
okay,
is like one of the main ones, like the first one.
okay, okay. So
Safety.
let's ride with that
Okay.
safety, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
When a child says there's a monster under the bed, they don't
Mhm.
feel safe.
Okay. I mean, but you don't want to sit there.
The child, flipping monster there. There's no monster. There's no red there. Aunt.
Okay.
It's blue.
Mm-hmm.
And ain't no monster there.
Okay.
If there was a monster there,
Mm-hmm.
then I feel your feelings are valid.
Okay.
But
But
if
though, so can we agree that we know that feelings are important to women?
yes, and I want to dive into why we believe feelings are important. Yes, absolutely. Feelings are very important. Feelings are essential to the existence of
Mm-hmm.
women.
Okay.
Now let's talk about why. Why are feelings so important to women?
Because depending on how we feel is what sometimes determine if we feel safe or not.
Aunts, feelings, do you believe feelings define reality? If you feel that there's a monster under the bed, do you feel as though a monster would miraculously appear under the bed? Do you feel
Use a different analogy, Dyson.
okay? All right. If you feel like your husband is cheating,
Mm-hmm. Mm,
you don't have no proof.
mm-hmm.
As far as you know, every time you turn around,
Mm,
them drums in the room licking.
mm-hmm.
But you believe, you feel because he ain't been hugging up on me like he usually do. We ain't been talking like we usually is talk for long periods of time. He always seem a little distant. Why he ain't hungry? Why he ain't eating no food? Why he ain't there just licking them drums all the time?
Mm-hmm.
What is going on? I don't feel safe in this relationship. I don't feel it. What's going
That's a
on?
leap.
He's is that a stretch? You think am I exaggerating a possibility? Like, is this possible for a woman to feel this way in
It,
given
it
the scenario
it
that?
is possible for women to feel that way.
Okay, all right.
And
Now,
and go ahead. Let me let you keep going.
does that
Mm-hmm.
feeling define reality? We trying to
Some
figure out
so
if men
now
and women are meant to get along.
sometimes it can
Hmm.
because what she may be feeling is a shift from what their norm was.
Hmm.
Now with this type of woman, the irrational downward spiral, in a sense, happens because she's not just checking in on the husband. Instead of just going by this feel like this feel like that, this feel like the next, it could probably be addressed with a conversation. But though, I do believe that
Let's know.
God
Let's stay
gave
right there.
women a
Uh-huh.
gift of
Discernment.
yes,
Of what do you call it?
a sixth sense
A psychic ability.
to feel when something is off.
You said
Dyson?
something just now. You said that could be it may be solvable by just having a conversation, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so now here's how men perceive the conversation.
Okay.
The conversation that needs to be had, according to your feelings, you feel it needs to be had,
Mm-hmm.
is doubt, is accusation. It's it's to us it's unnecessary because I ain't do nothing. I
Correct.
just playing my drums,
Right.
right? I ain't do nothing. I just in there
Yes.
mixing music. But here's what I say a lot.
Okay.
I say if you want there to be a problem, you could find one,
I agree.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a new light that turned on in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I was feel before I felt like you wanted there to be a problem because you want to have some type of leverage over the relationship. to say that
Hang
this person,
something over your head.
right, to try to
Mm-hmm.
keep the person in check, right?
Yes,
Keep them in the
yes.
box.
Mm-hmm.
Now what the light that also turned on in my head is that your feelings has already given you a certain perception of me. And because you want your feelings to define reality, you have to now create.
I don't think that's the feelings though. I think the feelings is a direct result of the negative thinking.
Yeah, but then you have to qualify that. You have to validate the negative thinking. The negative thinking has no validation. So you have to find something to validate that, to say, aha, I know what I was feeling. My sixth sense or seventh sense, my gifted
Intuition.
intuition,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, is spot on. I knew it. You have to validate that, right? And in trying to validate that, you want to have a conversation about what's happening.
You say you want to or you
Yeah,
won't?
woman,
Oh,
or let me just say, well, I can say woman for because you could defend the women. I'll talk as if
yes,
right?
yes. Mm-hmm.
A woman,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, a woman would want to validate what they've convinced themselves is.
Not always, Dyson.
What else? Why else
Because
would you just come out
so
of the
that
blue
okay, so that same exact
and
scenario
pull
that you
red?
laid out, if it were a situation that I had dealt with, which I have in the past,
Mm,
um, it wasn't automatically what you doing. It
mm,
was more of, are you okay? And
mm.
after the are you okay turned
I feel
into
triggered.
after the
Go
are
ahead.
you okay, because then it's like, oh, I'm fine. It's like, no, like, are you sure? Like something seems off.
Mm-hmm.
Things seem a little different. And then after that, it was like, okay, did I do something? Am I
Mm-hmm.
missing something? If I did, please tell me so that I could, address it. But it was all, no, it's fine. No, you didn't do nothing, blah, blah, blah. But
Mm-hmm.
here's what happened though.
Mm-hmm.
After that conversation, I think that made him feel like, oh, shoot, whatever I'm doing, it's becoming obvious to her to the point where she's
Mm.
asking me about it.
Okay.
And guess what? Sure enough, there was infidelity with not one,
Mm-hmm.
but two people.
Mm. Okay. All right. I can't defend the people that are actually doing it, right?
But
If
you
you
but
if
you
you
see what I'm
lying and you
saying?
cheating and you scheming and something feels off, yes,
Yes,
you should get.
but Dyson, you listed multiple things that would make any person, if two people have been together for a while and what their norm is out of nowhere started to change, that wouldn't make you question, like, at all. You wouldn't even want to
Yeah,
be like, you
I'm
good
not a hypocrite.
or
I no, I'm not going to pretend like I'm not human. Yes. However,
mm-hmm.
ma- this could feel unfair, but so what? Maturity has taught me
Yes,
that as a human being, we often think worst case scenario,
this is
right?
true.
So learn to, so I understand the question, are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
What I, what I have a trouble kind of accepting
Mm-hmm.
is if the response is, yes, I'm okay, why do you ask?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that I feel like that question is never properly answered, not truthfully answered? But I see that kind of caused you, that turned something on in your head just now when I said, if I ask, why do you ask if I'm okay? Yes, I'm fine. Why do you ask? What did I do to you just now?
Again, Dyson, I go to, and I believe this has a lot to do with I don't know about calling the maturity level, but the communication capabilities of some people. Because if I notice things and I ask you, and that's the question you ask me back, I am literally going to list every single thing that appeared to be different that made me want to check in on you to see if you were okay.
Yeah. And I think that needs to be a standard. I'm not sure if that's the standard. I think if you are going to um, ask questions or act, act based on
Mm-hmm.
your feelings or your
Right.
suspicions, that
Yes.
you should be able to validate the reason why you ask the questions or you behave in the way that you behave. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think you should. I don't think the answer to that to that question should be, "I just feel like."
I agree. Now I agree with you with that because you don't feel like what?
Yeah, like what? What am I doing? What am I doing?
Correct.
I, you feel as though I'm cheating? Who am I cheating with? At which point in time in the day do I cheat?
Honestly, that wouldn't even be the first place my mind went. Honestly, that wouldn't even be the first place.
Let me talk about my situation with my divorce for a second, right?
Whew.
My ongoing divorce situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here. I'm here in Canada, right? And this is one of the reasons why I didn't even fight the divorce. I was going to file for divorce based on abandonment. It's only two ways you can get divorced in the country: abandonment or cruelty.
Right.
Um, but my soon-to-be ex-wife decided that she was going to file before I filed. She knew I was going to file after the duration of time was
Um,
up where I could file for abandonment. So she
right.
filed before that. And I didn't fight it. I didn't fight it because the way everything looked and the way it panned out, I cannot defend that I wasn't having an, a relationship outside of my marriage, because I end up getting together with the person who she suspect me of having a relationship with. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm,
so so it made no sense in fighting it. And I say that to
right.
say this: when you come to the table with with an idea or a feeling, and if the person, like for me in my situation, if there's even some space, inclination of possible guilt, then man up, accept the consequences,
I agree. I
and
agree.
move
Just
on.
own it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Now
I
that
love the term
situation,
man up.
yeah, man up. That
Mm-hmm.
situation has other little quirks in it
Of
that
course.
makes it, not exactly like direct as that, but as men, and I feel as though, okay, now we could start talking about solutions on this topic.
Mm-hmm.
As men, I don't see, and probably this, no, this probably doesn't happen. I don't see where we need to be fighting
Who, men
in
and women?
in no, on the man side. It takes two, right?
Right.
A
Uh-huh.
woman could fight, and a man could duck and hide and thing up. That's not really a fight, right?
No.
That's
No.
somebody getting beat up. That's the
Yeah, that's
man getting beat
bullying.
up, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
bullying.
Right.
All right. A fight is when I decide to put up my hands and start throwing blows back, right? And now
Correct.
we defend. We in a fight, right? We in a brawl.
Right.
Legally, or even emotionally, I do not believe that men need to fight. But the reason we end up fighting is when women can't validate their actions,
Mm.
because the fight. Well, actually, no. That ain't even why we start, because we just duck in. Because I would duck in and I'd be like, validate your feelings. Who am I? How am I cheating? Or how am I not making you feel safe? You say you don't
Right.
feel safe. How am I not make? What am I doing to not make you feel safe?
Right.
And then you have to now verbalize that. And to verbalize that, the only thing you can come up with, I just feel.
Oh no. You gotta
Then
tell
I
me how. I need to know.
then we're not going to get along in that
You're not.
situation.
No.
So, you know what? I got to
That's
backpedal because
almost like
I trying to find a solution to stand on. That's not. There's how do we solve that?
people have to get better at being able to communicate. Truly. I
The
really think that's what it
communication.
all boils down to, Tyson.
Mhm.
Being able to truly, and here's the thing. What I find that the best way for people to communicate is mastering the art of trying to understand where the other person could be coming from, not just your perspective, and not closing that possibility off. Does that make sense?
Absolute 100,000%. It makes
You know,
sense.
because a lot of times people feel how they feel, but they are cutting out the fact of the other person.
The word, I think the key word in what you're saying is understanding. Like
Yeah.
the mission, like a lot of times we get in arguments or fights or heated debates because we trying to be heard.
Right.
The object is to be heard. That's why we talk
It
over each other.
is.
We
Whew.
start yelling. I want you to hear me. I want you to listen. And people hear and people are listening, but there's no understanding.
And Dyson, let me tell you something. You have some people who will deliberately try to act like they don't understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, deliberately. You
Yeah.
then break it down, you then turn it around, you then lay out another situation that could mirror that one for them to try and understand, and even still. And then at that point, the only response is then to shut down. You don't want to even talk about it anymore.
Absolutely you don't. For what?
Because,
What is the point?
like, there's no point. Like, I don't even know, I wouldn't even know what else to say because you're not even trying to see where I'm coming from. You are stuck in what you feel and what you think, and that's it. So it's like, well, okay. If 2
And
plus 2 is 10 and 2 plus 2 is 10, then.
but that's where we are. That's where a lot of us are. And that's where a lot of relationships, men and women's relationships are. We stuck at that point where we don't we're not trying to understand the other person. I'll
You know what
even
I
go to
think
a point we
helps? Oh,
trying to
go
be
ahead.
understood and not understand. It's more important for us to be understood than for us to understand.
But here's something that I think would be helpful. Something that I think would be helpful is therapy.
You really think so?
I do. And
I
let
have
me,
my thoughts on
but
that. Go, tell me how
but
you feel
here's what
about
I
therapy.
mean. Even if it's not therapy, a trusted party,
I mean, in some
because
mediation.
some mediation. I say that because
Hmm.
sometimes your partner could be trying to tell you something that
Hmm.
ain't clicking for you, no way, no how.
Hmm. You hearing red? They saying red.
Correct.
Hmm.
She could say that to one of your close friends who y'all trust, who want y'all together and support y'all, right? That type
Hmm.
of trustworthy person. She could say
Hmm.
that to them and say, "Here's what I'm trying to get him to understand," and he could say, "But this is what she trying to say," and out of nowhere, it's like, "Oh, that's what she was trying to say."
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I so it doesn't even have to be therapy per se, but a trusted mediator
Yeah.
who can sometimes be the one I this may sound
Ooh,
bizarre, but
you know what?
translate what is
Ooh.
not getting through.
Ooh. Let me tell you why I getting goosebumps right now, right? Because
Why, Tyson? Why?
I was going to bring up the fact that, in my recent travels to non-English speaking locations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in Colombia, I can't remember much Spanish,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And and it was difficult understanding what people were saying because they weren't
Mm,
speaking English.
they
So
were.
the objective for
I.
me was not to hear them.
Mm,
The objective became to understand them. And all of my efforts were put into understanding the information that they were trying to convey to me.
yes. Yes. Yes.
And that was how I was able to survive in the Spanish speaking country. Because
And
if I
guess
was
what?
only listening to hear them,
Yep.
yeah, I don't know what you're saying. I don't speak no Spanish. But if I looking at your body language and I seeing where you're pointing and I trying to connect the dots and I'm actually doing a whole lot more to understand what you were saying, then yeah, I understand you. We can move forward.
And guess what? The sooner opposite sex understand that men and women see things differently and communicate things differently, the sooner it will literally be at simply a space of understanding. Because the same way how the language is different, but in that country, is the
Mhm.
same way sometimes that men and women communicate completely differently.
Different language. Yeah.
Totally different language.
But to your point about a therapist or a mediator,
Mm-hmm.
what made it a lot easier is that I had family members, when the family members were around that actually spoke Spanish and were able to translate. Translation made it made it much easier. So maybe that
Yes.
third person is good. But my issue with therapists is my
Mm-hmm.
issue with with everything that has been commercialized.
Right.
It becomes more about monetization
That's why I say, or a trusted third party.
than actually solving people's problems. Because a therapist would tell you all day, and how does that make you feel?
And stretch it.
And how does that make you feel?
Mm-hmm.
So why do
Mm.
you feel that way? You wouldn't catch them saying, well, the nigga say blue. It's blue. Why do you can't say red. They won't say
No.
that. It's not
No.
red. It's not red, lady. It is blue. They can be like, well, what makes you feel like it's red? What you
Hmm.
mean what makes them feel like it's red? It's not red. It's blue.
It's
That's
blue.
that's my issue with therapists. Therapists
Yes.
never drop the axe and say, because
Right
most
then and
most
there.
couples most couples go to couples therapy to find out which one of us is wrong.
Period. Period. But let me tell you, a trusted mediator will not just say, oh, well, this one wrong and this one right. It's literally more like, okay, what she trying to say is this. He understands it. And then this mediator will come back and say, yeah, but even though that's what you was trying to say, if you had said it like this, then it could have been, you know what I mean? Something
Yeah,
different. And
yeah,
this all can happen in a phone call. It ain't take a bunch of sessions. It ain't take a bunch of none of that.
right. Yeah. Hmm. I wonder I didn't cue this, but I wonder if I could find this. Um. Anyway, I'll just tell you all about it. There's this clip from, I believe it's called Couples Therapy. I think that's the name of the show, and they have clips on Instagram and TikTok. And this one situation is this couple where the wife is talking about taking the son to be diagnosed for autism.
Hmm.
And the husband is accusing the wife of going behind his back to do this. And the wife is admitting that, yeah, I did go behind your back to do it because I didn't feel as though you were going to do it. And you can tell from his response and what he was saying that she was actually right. He doesn't, it seemed like he is in disbelief or refuses to
Acknowledge or accept.
acknowledge or accept that his son may be autistic.
Right.
And in that situation, like that dynamic is where he ain't trying to hear nothing. So she ends up going behind his back and getting him diagnosed, and he is diagnosed with autism. I don't know, but the situation is now when he is diagnosed with autism, the doctors tell him that suggesting that he immediately goes on medication. Now, that is troubling to me, and this is how I see it. How is it that you so man and so strict and so the boss of everything that you would ignore the concerns of your wife so consistently to the point where she could decide to do something with your son behind your back? One, right? That says a lot. That's if someone is afraid or does not feel like it is safe to communicate with you, to talk to you, one of the I didn't want to say only, like I say it just so I get it out. Their only choice is to go behind your back. And
Dyson, let me tell you, I remember very early on when my husband and I were getting to know each other, I said to him, every reaction you have based on whatever I share with you or that I'm transparent with you teaches me what I can say to you and what I cannot. Because if I'm being open and honest and something that I say gets me either yelled at or you angry or whatnot, that registers in my brain as, oh, okay, can't share that with him. I got to keep that part to myself, and the same is for me. It's the same thing. And people do it without realizing it. But I shared that early on, because it's like you want to be with a partner where you could be your complete, raw, non-faking self, right? Whatever
yep.
that looks like. Someone shared with me recently that her and her husband. So my husband and I, we host these couple games nights sometimes,
Uh-huh.
right?
Hmm.
And I was talking to her about it because she was saying that she doesn't have any married friends. And I'm like, you need to get you some coupled up friends, some married friends. And I was telling her about it, and she said they attempted to play this card game once. One of the questions that came up when they were playing was, what was the oldest person you ever dated and how old were you? She said she was 19. The person was 29. He flipped out. I'm like, but this was long before him. Oh, yes, it was. I said, well, do you know what he just told you? You can't share too much from your past. She was like, exactly. She said, I didn't even really want to play anymore. She said, because it did. She said it did not feel like a safe space where she could just be open.
And now, what does that turn into after time, after so many occasions and instances of that? What does that turn into in the long term? Silence.
And misery.
So you would say, oh, he isn't behaving like he did yesterday or last week or when we
Mm-hmm.
first met. He was so
Mm-hmm.
talkative. He was so sharing. We could talk about anything. But in every instance, when them things when you bark up his behind with all of that information that he shared with you, and he decides that he no
Mm-hmm.
longer wants to talk, he's limited to what things he can talk about. Are men and
Exactly.
women meant to get along?
They are. Let me tell you, they are. And let me tell you what I feel like allows for no situation is perfect, but a really good blend. Two people who are authentically themselves and find each other and are okay exactly with how the person is.
Huh.
Exactly with how the person is. I'm going to tell you, Dyson, it's not boring ever. It ain't all. You don't have to change or acclimate depending on who you around, if your partner there or if they ain't there. It's not even something that you second guess or think about anymore. Like honestly, to me, it feels like nothing is off the table.
And what a dream, eh? What a dream. I think two people would get along if there's the understanding that this is who I am, that
Yes.
is who you are.
Yup.
I accept you, you accept me. Let's move on forward together. What it does not say that you accept the fact that I leave sex socks socks on the floor, not sex.
Right.
Socks on the floor.
Yes.
It it it, does, it doesn't say that I accept the fact that you like going out in skimpy clothes and getting feel up. The feel up part more so than the skimpy clothes, right? It doesn't excuse the fact that you doesn't mean you accept that I'm a cheater or that you're not good with money. Like there's some things in the relationship that calls for work. Like
Right.
it's not acceptable because if it's putting your relationship or yourself in danger, your
Right.
financial health, your actual health, if it's putting it in danger, then no, that's unacceptable in the
Correct.
relationship. But as
Mm-hmm.
far as what you was talking about, if something happened 20 years ago,
Like,
you know, and I don't even shouldn't mention. Well, I can mention JP. I ain't talking to Kent because Kent wait an hour before the show to say he couldn't make it. JP tell
mm,
us long time. Um, but JP once said he said that's why he doesn't believe in going back to relationships because all the things that happened in the past in that relationship continues to be revisited as you try to progress the relationship forward.
right.
And I can
Mm,
take a fact that is true.
yeah.
It is very difficult to move forward in a relationship
With certain
when
things.
you are fearful based on all the things that happened in the past. I think
Correct.
what couples need to understand and what people need to understand is that who you were in your teens or in your early 20s and who you are in your late 20s and your 30s and who you are in your 30s and your late 30s and
Evolve.
40s is not who you are in your late 40s and 50s.
Nope.
Like me personally, I may have said this on the show before, but I regret every relationship that didn't work out. I regret going into it.
You
It was a
can't though. You
yeah.
can't. And
You know,
but I'll tell you why.
tell me why.
Because each time, guaranteed you learn something else.
Yes,
Each time. And I
that's what
can
I
tell you,
appreciate.
like brutally, before I met my husband Dyson, when I tell you, I had one guy told me I was like a dude. No, and I'm serious because I knew that I wanted to be a wife.
Right,
Okay? So I also knew some of the things that I experienced and dealt with in the past.
right.
So the moment certain red flags came up, or if I shared something about me and I got a
Out,
certain reaction, done. I'm not even
out.
wasting my time.
Right.
You know, it's like, okay, I've already had these failed situations. What I
Hmm.
learned from them is I was sending a representative of what I think somebody wanted to see of me,
Right.
what I thought they wanted me to be like, or what have you. That's what I was doing. But then that would land me in a space where I got to be faking all the time. Ain't nobody into that. So then it was like, okay, this is who I am. Lord, whoever you sent me, then they want me just like this,
Yep.
no matter what that looks like.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was, oh, nope, sorry, it's not you, it's me.
Yes.
Blocked, delete, let's keep it moving. Because for honestly though, right? Why would you even want somebody to waste your time if they already
Oh,
know? Like, that don't even make no sense. I did them a favor. I really did. I did them a favor. I did myself a favor. I'm gonna waste your time. I don't want you waste mine because I
very,
don't
very
want a
true.
space holder. I want my husband to be able to find me, whoever he is. And
Hmm.
wasting time on anybody else was pointless to me.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
Pointless.
100%. But I like what you said because you're spot on. All of those failed relationships taught me
Lessons.
value. It taught me the value of
Absolutely.
relationship. It taught me what to focus on in relationships,
Yes.
right? It
Yes.
taught me how to not be so self-centered in relationships.
Mm.
You know,
Yes.
like I pull,
Absolutely.
but I believe, and this is what another nugget. I believe when you focus on the positives, when you focus on growth, when you focus on maturity, when you focus on becoming the best version, a better version of yourself, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
Yep.
You win, the relationship wins.
Yep. That's
Um,
true. And relationships have specs, but are you gonna focus in on the specs or the big, clean white space? That's the majority of the surface.
exactly. You only have time to do one thing at a time, you know. Like you could
Literally.
have plans to do many things at a time, but if you washing the dishes, you washing the dishes. If you leave the water on whilst you washing the dishes and you go to pee, the water go spill over, possibly spill over or something like that. If you like you literally only have time to do one thing. So if you
That's right.
spending that time rowing about what happened 20 years ago, that's time you could be making a beautiful memory that not erases, but gives you something positive to reflect on in the future. As
Absolutely.
when all you will have in the future is just running the same flipping tape of 20 years ago
Yeah.
for the next 10 years, for the next
Yep.
20 years, for the next no, so much more life to live.
I'm saying
You know what I
truly.
mean? So
Absolutely.
are men and women meant to get along? Might I, yeah, like
Absolutely.
absolutely.
They go together.
They were made for each other.
Correct. A
Uh,
plug, a
like
plug and a socket.
physically, one was made for the other.
Correct.
Wait a minute now. Why wait till the night hour to say that? Because if one was
Mm.
made for the other,
Yes.
and men can accept the woman, but the man wasn't necessarily made for the woman. Or was women made in a way by which the man, but then which the man falls into a space that is accepting, easy to accept for a woman, like how men's supposed to accept women.
But let me tell you, and I think that's why the Bible was so clear in saying why a man should love his wife. She need only to respect him. But
And it says that a woman would want for a husband.
yes,
So why? So it was necessary for that to be spoken though,
it was.
and it
It
was
was.
necessary for it to be spoken because maybe it's not in the design.
Hmm.
Maybe it's not innate. Maybe it's not natural. That's why it had to be spoken, almost like
Like
a
you
commandment.
need, yes, you need to love her. Yes, she think different. Yes, she is
Dang.
act different. She look
Wow.
different. She this, she's that. She's of you, but she is not you.
She and you.
So don't expect you.
Yeah, and you gotta understand that. Because
You
in,
gotta
in my
understand that.
introduction, I say men take this protection thing too far. Like
Hmm.
I do believe we take it too far because when you want to choose everything for the next person, that ain't right. An individual is their own entity. They said
Yeah.
the two comes together to be one.
Yeah.
It's two that becomes one. Like
Yes.
that becoming is a process.
Yes.
I think we just waste an hour trying to figure this one out because we ain't got.
Hey.
I get digress. I can leave that one right there and ponder that some more
Hmm.
when I rewatch this episode. So happy Independence, Bahamas.
That's right.
53 years ago, we became an independent nation. I want to shout out, um, I guess this would be the government, but whoever the government hired or gave the contract to clean up Goodman's Bay. When I was at home, I did a video on TikTok, shared it on TikTok, talking about how deplorable
Mm.
it was walking around the track. You see, and on the beach, you see people leaving their collect bottles, or like you go out there with your pack of bears, and you don't feel it. And there's trash cans out there. Even if the trash can is full, if you put the bottles next to the trash can, like
I'm saying.
that could be acceptable. So I wanna take this opportunity to speak to say thank you, government, for cleaning up the mess.
Oh,
I really
nice.
appreciate that. But that post was never about the government. That post was about the people.
Littering.
People, you should not have, I don't care. It doesn't matter how much, you cannot argue that the government needs to do more with your taxes if you could dirty up the place and have them spend hundreds of millions of dollars on cleaning up after you.
Right.
We could be using that money for other things. Now, if they go and misappropriate that money, yeah, that's another conversation. But
Mm-hmm.
if you leave in the place nasty, like that,
They go and Hoover.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you this independence. I'm proud of you this independence. So as far as Bahamians go, y'all, we, us, you take the stuff out there, you told it out there, get back.
Get back, man. My gosh.
Nobody wants to see you date. Anyway, shout out to the Bahamas, 53 years, we getting there. I'll tell you this too, and I want to stand on this. This government, I believe, is going to be one of the best administrations the Bahamas has ever seen. And it has everything to do with the fact that they know everyone is watching and expecting a lot.
Mm.
So I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how far and how much this administration is able to accomplish in the next 5 years. It's going to be something to see. Lincoln on live now talking about Flamingo Air
Oh.
from 5 o'clock. Yeah, he
Oh.
riding them.
Good.
And when we have people like that, like pointing out,
Yes.
I don't think that the government went out there. They probably already had it planned to clean up Goodman's Bay. But if we
Mm-hmm.
have people out there speaking and saying, no, this is not acceptable.
Using a platform.
Yeah. So I
Mm-hmm.
think the next step, government, is let's do another Keep the Bahamas Clean promo. I remember that from school.
Me
Let's,
too. Clean, green, marine, or something like that.
yeah, clean, green, clean, and
Mar-
pristine, or something like that.
something.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
hmm So yeah, let's see if we can instill it in the people. And anyway, many layers that I just wanted to say. Let's just continue to build up the Bahamas from wherever you are. Do the
Yeah.
best that you can. And Ans, any last words? Because we have a few solutions, possible scenarios we can try. But I know if men and women are meant to get along, I think it would be
They
nice.
are.
Yeah.
They are. And I think they go together real bad. They do. They are. What's the alternative? What's the alternative?
I know.
No.
You know, alternative. The
Mm,
end of civilization is the alternative.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly. And scripture knew it may have been difficult. That's why it was commanded that a man needs to love his wife.
all right.
It's like, I know. I say
Mm-hmm.
love her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Aunt, it's been great, man.
Yes, it
We
has.
put in an hour. I think we got some stuff to clip. So
Okay.
let's say goodbye.
See you later.
See you later.